Sunday. It's that time of week again where we look into the update and forecast. A lot going on, guys. I won't lie. There's a lot going on in the short range, the mid range, and the long range. So, boy, do we have a lot to get through. The oceans are alive. The winds are starting to really push in favour of a monsoon arrival sooner than later. And we've had storms and we have more build up, and particularly something to watch over on the northwest coast in the long range. So folks, let's get stuck right into it. Okay, so I mentioned we do have a lot to talk about in the weather front on the short range, the mid range and the long range. Now in the short range, I'm talking about those mixing winter systems with the tropical systems that typically affect New South Wales and lower parts of Queensland. They are going to persist, folks. The reason for that is the southern annular mode, the SAM, we talk about that a lot. It's still holding on into the negative territory. What does that mean? Just means that those wind patterns that sit between Antarctica and Australia are still sitting further north and closer to our shores. That means that the winter patterns persist for much of the southern part of Australia, mixing in with the tropical air coming in from the north. When those bands come together and meet about here, you're on that fringe of the southeast Queensland, northern New South Wales coastline at the border there. You juice those things together, folks, and you get fireworks. It's that simple. That's why you get your hail, your heavy rain, your downbursts from the storms. That's the pressure releasing outwards with the wind. That's why you get your rain coming in sideways during that storm. And this is going to persist now for a couple more weeks. So folks in those regions, stay vigilant, because the hail in particular can do a lot of damage, and people can get caught off guard in these mini cyclonic type conditions. So stay vigilant out there, folks. We've probably got at least 2 more weeks worth of these types of systems to roll through sporadically. So that's in the short range. There is also a very prominent system coming in off the west coast. And when I say prominent, I mean because it is a very north-reaching low frontal system, and that is going to sweep through WA, bringing some high, probably some fairly north-reaching rain. And given the fact there is going to be a bit of warmth around, do expect to see some thunderstorms in that activity, as you can probably now see on the chart. So keeping an eye on that system as well. And in the medium to long range, what we are seeing is tropical low potential off the northwest coast in about the 2-week forecast. Now, folks, that is a long way out when we're talking summer months. However, it is something to keep an eye on because there is a bit of juicing going on out there in those oceans right now. We do have the negative dipole, which is a very warm, raging ocean, generally speaking. So that does mean lots of tropical convection, which means lots of storm development. So keeping an eye on that northwest potential tropical low in about 2 weeks' time. Definitely seeing potential also for it to move eastward towards the northwest coast. Again, we'll need to see and watch more data. It is a bit far out at the moment. The east coast, we have a similar time frame to keep an eye on very heavy rainfall potential. Think of it a bit like a monsoonal event, although it's not directly connected to the monsoon. And that is what we call that sort of state-to-state reaching rain band, which can hit most of the Queensland, New South Wales and state of Victoria as well. Basically where you get the interlocking of tropical systems from the north and cooler systems to the south. And when they lock, they feed basically what's called an atmospheric river, which just produces lots of rainfall over large expanses of our continent. So a fairly significant event that may occur within about the 2-week range. We're keeping an eye on that one as well. Now, folks, I just want to cap off on where we're at with the climate drivers, because the climate drivers, of course, drive our weather. We do, again, have a fairly warm, active Pacific and a very warm, active Indian Ocean. So those are the signatures that we use to, again, forecast cyclone activity as an average. And we are seeing some early season activity already showing up. So something we're going to have to be keeping an eye on over the coming weeks and months as the season reaches its peak. That is, storms are going to be very active. The potential for heavy rainfall is still very active. And we also are seeing the very, very first signs of those monsoonal winds from the north starting to shift down towards into the southern hemisphere. If I had to hedge bets, I'd still be looking at the very first monsoon to hit us in December at some point. Keeping an eye on that because it all fuels into our weather. Okay, folks, so that's what's currently going on with the weather. What's likely to come in the future. Things are really starting to juice up. So we'll be here to cover it. Hopefully got something out of this, and I look forward to catching you up all very soon and keeping you, of course, up to date. All right, folks, catch you then. See ya.